Hi everyone, it's Janice Wallace and I just wanted to go through eClass for a few moments with you just to point out some things that you might not, that might have changed or you might not be aware of yet, so that we're all kind of on the same page or same eClass, so to speak, as we begin the course. The first thing I wanted to point out, and this is something new to me and maybe it isn't to you. Maybe this is something that changed over the summer when you were taking courses. But when I went to look for eClass, set up eClass this time, I couldn't find it until I discovered that these three little dots over on the side here are actually where you open up eClass. So, and if you look where the arrow is, that's where I am. So I'm going to just click those three dots. And then the quick links, among other things, will open, including COVID-19 information. So, of course, that's good to be aware of. But down this list will be other information that is particularly helpful, I think, including the library. But this is how you'll open eClass. So you go to about the middle of the list, open up eClass, and you'll see University of Alberta credit courses, and this part's the same. Our section is 851. So when we open it up, the top part will be somewhat different than other courses, not maybe so much in format, but in terms of content. So we have the Getting Started, which is probably what you've seen before, where we have the instructor welcome, contact your instructor. So ways to, I should mention, by the way, in terms of the instructor welcome, this is just a kind of a general overview of some of the things I want you to be aware of. How to contact me when something comes up and you need to do so. This would be one way in which you'd be able to get my email address. It's also on the syllabus, etc. The syllabus is here, and you're able to go down here at the bottom of the section and click that open, and you'll see the syllabus. I won't take time to open that now, but it's going to have all of the information listed, and what it does have this time around is dates for the major assignments, and they're in the little box at the top of the modules on the right-hand side. And then we have the discussion forum guidelines, which is a more complete explanation of the kinds of things that you're expected to include when you're participating in the forum. Now, all of that information is not included with every forum in each of the modules because it would take up a lot of space. So instead, we put everything here. So make sure that you have a look at that very carefully at the beginning of the course so you're well aware of what is going to be expected of you in the discussion forums. Now, they're only worth 5 marks each, but it does accumulate to 25 marks, so that's something to be aware of. And sometimes, it's interesting, sometimes when people don't take that seriously, that's the difference between you know, an A and an A plus, or a B and a B plus, and that sort of thing. So just, you know, something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm going to shift back here a little bit. All right. Some other things in this list are the forum introduction. Oh, sorry, gosh, I wanted to talk about the readings first. The full reading list will be here. And it does look a little different as far as I know, unless it changed over the summer. The library is using a different system. And so they are now, so you won't find, for example, all of the things all of the readings and the videos listed by citation or by reference in a kind of reference list format. Instead, it's kind of in a linking format. So you'll be able to go over here, for example, if you were in module 1 and you were reading the first reading that's required, you would open it up by clicking here. What is not included will be the texts. Now, one of our texts is the Creswell and Guterman text, which some of you may already be very aware of. The other one, and now the library only has the 6th edition so far, because the one we're using is the 2022 edition, and it's just newly available. But it's you know, it's the newest and best, and we wanted you to have access to that. So it unfortunately is only available electronically unless you want to wait a while, but you may not be able to get it until almost the end of January. So I would suggest that you use the electronic version. I think you can You can buy it as a kind of in a cheap form if you only want it for a month, and then you can buy the book after if you want to do that, or you can just use it electronically, and then you've got it that way. But nevertheless, it doesn't look like this. It looks slightly different, and they've only listed it here because just to let you know that it's, you know, the Marshall and Rossman, and the new one has Blanco as well, are the authors. So there's a note here to make that. What I'm saying is the texts are listed differently, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then each of the readings for the modules are listed here. Now it does say that you can click here, and it says that it will come up with your citation style. So we will be using APA, and you can click on that and it will change it. What I found, however, when I did that, was that there are so many mistakes in it that it's really not that helpful. So what I'm going to try to do by at least the end of Module 1 is to have a list that will be posted on eclass that will be the reference list for all of the readings and videos in correct APA 7th edition style. So you can cut and paste as you wish to throughout the course. But nevertheless, this is an easy way to get to the readings. And then last is the two last things are related. The forum introductions. So in this forum, you're able to participate as well. So I've added my 10 things about me that, silly things or things that are more personal, or things that are about my professional life that I maybe don't get into in the video, and that sort of thing. And the other thing that's up here as well is the welcome video. And so here you actually kind of get to see the person that you hear a voice of, or that you talk to on email in the welcome video. And I just tell you a little bit about me, and I tell you about some things about the course that I want you to know, and it's just an introductory thing. So I hope that you'll take a little time to watch that. Okay, the next section is the news section, and this is a section that I don't use very often, to be honest, unless there happens to be a question that keeps coming up, in which case I may put it in course-related questions. I don't usually need to do that very often, but if I do, I will let the class know that it's there, that the answer to that question is there, so you can have a reference point to go back to if you need to or want to. There's also an open forum, so if you wanted to set up your own forum, the forum is there. You can just talk back and forth to one another. It's not necessarily something I'll check in on unless somebody says you should check this for information about something that we're wondering about or whatever. Or you can set up your own forum, and some groups do that completely separate from eClass. Just, on Facebook, they set up a special section or whatever. And then there's submit your assignments, which is something you'll be aware of as well. The due dates are there so that you can find them quickly, and this is where you will submit your assignment. So for example, the first major assignment will be writing a statement of the research problem. And each of the assignments will be set up the same way, so I'll use this as an example. You will have at the top in a PDF form, you will have a description of the assignment, and you will have the rubric for the assignment. Please, before you do any assignment, including the forums, have a look there and see if there's anything that you need to know, because especially the major assignments, you're going to have a much more complete description than you'll find anywhere else, and you will have the rubric, which will tell you what I'm going to be looking for when I'm marking the assignments. So this is information you need to have when you're doing your assignments. So please check that before you ever begin an assignment, because it's important information and it's something that you will need to know. Next, after the submit your assignments, we have the key dates. And of course, that's a really helpful piece of information to have. Some people just run it off and stick it up wherever, so they always have those dates in front of them, or put it in their calendar on their cell phone, or whatever happens to be. So keep a check on that, and so that you know when modules are beginning, when assignments are due, when your initial assignment to the forum is due, etc. So all of those things are listed here. The course starts on January the 5th and it ends on April the 8th. I'm hoping to have 2 or 3 Zoom meetings. I haven't set the dates for those because I want to wait until I kind of get a feel from the class of when maybe something that comes up that would merit more face-to-face kind of discussion. You'll notice, by the way, that they're optional, so you don't have to attend the Zoom meetings. They're available to you if you wish to. But it's a way to have a kind of more intimate face-to-face discussion that would be more like being in a class. And for some people, that's particularly important. And for most of us, it gives us a chance to actually see our classmates and that sort of thing. But it also gives us a chance to discuss things that are of importance to us and have a more back and forth kind of interaction than, for example, the forum provides for us. I will be making sure that you have those dates as they become more clear to me in terms of what will work best for the group. Then we have all of the modules that are all set up the same way. So let's pick module 4 just as an example. So first of all, you've got the dates of the module, and then you've got your instructor notes. And in your instructor notes, you're going to have a kind of overview of what we'll be doing in that forum. So it's worth taking the time to have a quick read of it. They're not very long, but they do give you kind of all the major road signs to tell you where we're going in that module, and it kind of just sets the stage, so to speak. And then we also have the discussion forum question, and you'll notice that all of that information that I talked about before is not here, so you're expected to have looked at that before up in submit your assignment section. But in the discussion forum, you'll have the discussion question that you'll be using in the discussion forum. So in this case, we're looking at qualitative research, and so the discussion question has to do with the readings that you'll be participating in for that. Of course, we'll also have, where am I here? We'll also have the readings and videos. And something I wanted to point out is that the readings from the texts are listed separately because they're, of course, in text form, so they don't need to be in electronic form. And because of the way this format is set up, it isn't possible to include the text readings with the readings that you have links to. So always check up here and see what the readings are from the texts. In some case, we have none. In this case, we have one from Marshall, Rossman, and Blanco. In some cases, we have both of the texts. So make sure that you have a look up here to see what's expected to read from the texts. And then down here, for example, you have 2 required readings. They're actually required watchings because they're videos. But sometimes you will also have recommended. It will say down here, instead of required, it will say recommended. So that means that you don't have to do that. It is something that we recommend. So if you find you've got an extra 15 minutes or whatever, 3 minutes sometimes is all that's required to watch it, you've got something that will add some information that will be helpful to you as you build your knowledge base for doing your own research. The one thing that is missing from all of the modules so far is my teaching video. And what I have done in the past is to have a teaching video that talks about, it kind of draws together some of the major themes across the readings, within and across the readings, and also talks about any of the kind of more dense language that may be unfamiliar. So I will include that in the video as well. But because we've changed the course considerably this time around, and more, different text is included, and some of the readings have been cut, some have been added to, etc. We don't have those. I don't have those videos done. So I will hopefully have quite a few of them done before January 5th when the course starts. I certainly will have the first 2 done, and then I will continue to add to them as the course goes along. And so I just wanted you to be aware of that. So what I would suggest is that as you're going through the course, you start with the instructor notes, you watch the video, the teaching video, and then you go into your readings and so on. Some people find that's the most helpful way. If you don't find that's helpful, then you may want to do the readings and the videos and then go back and watch the teaching video, whichever works best for you. But I find that most people find that it works best to have a look at the video first. And then at the end, we have the research methodology videos. And those videos are related to an assignment that you'll be doing. I just wanted to point out that they're down here. And we'll be talking about that more as time goes along. It's the last assignment that you do, so you don't need to know all about that at this point. But this is where the videos are that you'll be basing that assignment on. And they're talking about research methodologies like action research, grounded theory, mixed methods, feminist research, phenomenology, etc. So, and that will form the basis for what you'll be doing in your assignment. Okay, I've talked long enough, and I have gone on long enough. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions at all, please do let me know. And if you find anything as you're going through the course that doesn't make sense, because we have changed quite a few things around and there's so many layers to an E-class, sometimes we miss, we put a new date in here and we forget to put the new date somewhere else. Or we use word numbers for an assignment and an old assignment was something else and it didn't get changed. We think we've got everything, but we probably haven't. So if you come across something that doesn't make sense, let me know and I'll make sure that correction is done right away and we'll let everybody know. And thank you very much for being a third and fourth and fifth and whatever pair of eyes for us. All right, that's it. Take care. Hope this has been helpful and looking forward to meeting up with you on January the 5th.